Linda Israel here, and I'm going to show you how I make this particular card. I have the scent of the day, which is black cherry, on my desk. I like to have a scent going while I'm creating in my room. If you'd like to know more about JIC scents, go to my link in the description box on the video. And it's black cherry. This is a ring from JIC. I'm going to use the Terry's Trains set from Brutus Monroe. This is the Brutus Monroe detail ink. And I'm going to do a little bit of scrap busting, if you will. I have a stack of this craft colored cardstock in my stash, and I know that I want to cut this. Let me get my other paper cutter. It's shorter. And it is approximately a little over 4 inches wide. So I want to make this a little over 5 1/4, not quite 5 1/2. And I'm going to just save that little scrap for later. So this will fit on a standard A2 card with a little bit of a border all the way around. And then I have this piece of corrugated that was saved. I believe it was when someone got parquet wood floors. I don't know if it was my mom or my father-in-law, and I saw the back side of this textured paper, and so I snagged it because I thought it looked really cool. So I'm going to use a piece of that. So let's see if we can get the other end, because this end has a flaw on it. Yeah. So this is 3 1/4 inches wide. So I'm going to just take this and cut it at 3 1/4. So I have that piece. I'll set this aside. Then I have a black square, and I want it to be approximately 2 3/4 inch in size. This was a scrap out of my black. If you've been following me, I save all my bits. I have a little folder that I put all of my pieces in, so that when I want to make a card for this year in 2017, I'm going to try to use up all my bits and pieces. So that's where this came from. So I have some pieces here to get me going. This is a piece of scrap paper, and I'm putting that down so I don't have to wipe up my surface here. I've got my black detail ink. I've got the fan already on my acrylic block. So I'm going to stamp this fan on this craft paper, and I'm going to repeat it across the page. Now I'm going to stamp it off the page and then keep going. So I'm going to stamp it dead center, and then on either side, so it'll go off the page, and then we're going to stamp it off the page. And now I know that when I get my piece, it's going to cover that up in the center, so I'm not going to bother stamping in the center here, but I'm going to stamp again in the center. And then right beside it, like so. So when I put this piece on top, that will cover up where I did not stamp. So I'm going to set this aside for a moment. I've got another scrap of paper here, again, just from my stash. I have added the saying to my acrylic block. I'm just going to move this stamp up and then add the saying. So now I've got both on there. I'm going to ink both of these up at the same time. And then I'm going to stamp this on the white paper, like so, and then set this aside. And now I'm going to die cut this. If you didn't know, Brutus Monroe has come out with matching dies that match perfectly several of the stamp sets. So I'm going to line these up around the image, and then I have a piece of washi tape. I'm just going to place that over so it doesn't move, and then I'm going to get my die cutting machine out. So one moment. So I've got my die cutting machine out, and I'm just making a normal sandwich like you normally would in your die cutting machine. So whatever the plates are that you're supposed to use for a thin die, that's what you would do. And there are my die cuts, perfectly cut out. I'm going to take my stamped background and go around the edge with my black detail ink. I'm going to use some white glue and adhere this to my foundation card. I'm going to use my crocodile corner rounder on the quarter inch and round the corners. Oh, missed one. I'm going to round the corners on the cardboard. Now I want to adhere the black square on top of the cardboard, so I'm just going to use my white glue. I've got a thick piece of fun foam here and my awl, because I want to put brads in the corners, so I'm going to just poke a hole in each of the four corners. And then I'm going to add these little brass or copper, I think they're more copper color, not brass, into the corners. I like to use my awl to open up the little prongs, because those prongs are so tiny it's hard to see them to get them to open, and I don't really want them to go under my fingernail. This piece ready. So let's adhere this onto the front of our card. I'm just using the white glue again. Now if you don't have scraps like I did, maybe you have purchased the Midway pack. It has this craft color in the set and has the corrugated in there. You may have some black full sheets of cardstock. I've got some dimensional dots or tape, and I'm just cutting it into strips, so I like to use it even though the dots are gone. I'm going to put a piece behind the sentiment. And then I'm going to put a couple of pieces behind the fan. And boom, we have a really quick card that says, "I'm your biggest fan." So there's a great way to possibly use up some scraps if you have it, or if you didn't know what to do with that corrugated cardboard, how to create your own background. The way these little dies work that Brutus Monroe have. I love the way that they cut these out perfectly. I don't have to spend the time fussy cutting those. You just cut them out really fast and clean and crisp. I think this is a great looking little card, a little distressing around the edge. This would be a great card to give to someone that is your biggest fan. I hope you like this card that I made today. The product link is in my description. It'll take you to the website so you can get to the blog and check out all the items that I used today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm here to help you out. Love to have your comments of what you thought of this card or how you're going to bust your stash in 2017. Love to hear what you're doing or what you plan to do. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. I'm all over the interweb and I post different things because I don't make everything that goes to video. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and of course, if you aren't already, please subscribe. Thanks again for watching today, and as Christopher Allen likes to say, create your own ending. Thanks for watching again. Thanks. Bye.